morning. It is Tuesday, September 25th. We are here in Grand Lake. Stopped for a cup of coffee at Jumpstart Coffee. It's only about 27 degrees outside right now, so we needed something warm to kind of get us through the start of the morning here, to jumpstart us off. So I got some drip coffee. Derek's got a hot chocolate. And the goal today is to drive through Rocky Mountain National Park. We're going to stop at the overlooks and waypoints on the way into Estes Park. And then hopefully, if we can, we're going to try to stop at the Stanley Hotel from Stephen King's The Shining and grab some food if it's not too crowded. Then through Denver and stopping tonight in Pueblo, Colorado. So that's our kind of final destination for the day. But we're kicking off the start of our 7-park road trip on our way home back to California. And off we go. So we're in the park. Yesterday we were able to knock off a couple of the waypoints since we came up here to look for
harbors and picnic areas where we saw some of the wildlife yesterday.
The elk yesterday. So that was one of our stops. Don't really need to do that too much today, unless of course we spot some moose or elk or other wildlife. We'll pull over again. And there were 2 different trailheads that were supposed to be really good for moose viewing. So we ended up at the Coyote Valley trailhead, which is where we ended up seeing that moose and then him further along down the road. So our first waypoint this morning is actually Fairview Curve, which is a 10,120 foot high overlook.
What you reading?
So this is the Never Summer Mountain Range. We're staying at an elevation of 10,120 feet across from the Never Summer Mountains, the only volcanic range in Rocky Mountain National Park.
So that's about 27 degrees up here. Not too bad. It's our first way stop, or waypoint on our trip through Rocky Mountain National Park.
Next up, Milner Pass. So here's a little bit of history on Milner Pass. The pass was named for T.J. Milner, an 1880s railroad promoter who surveyed the route through this area. It is also where we cross the Continental Divide. So anything falling west of the divide goes to the Pacific, anything to the east goes to the Atlantic. And it says the parking lot at Milner Pass lies at the southern end of the beautiful Padru Lake.
So we're out here at Milner Pass. We're gonna go ahead and just walk a little bit and see what we got.
So we are on our way now to Medicine Bow Curve, which is right before we get to the visitor center. So we are currently at 10,784 feet. So Medicine Bow Curve says, on a clear day, the snowy range of Wyoming's Medicine Bow Mountains are visible 44 miles away. And then, let's see, gives you a wide-angled view of the Mummy Mountains from their soft side. Not quite sure what that means. And it's also an altitude of 11,660 feet. So up next is Medicine Bow Curve.
So we're at Medicine Bow Mountain up here. We're at like, I don't know, 11,000 feet or so. What's it like?
Cold. Cold.
I don't think you can see your breath here. It's pretty windy, but it is pretty brisk up here.
we're gonna hoof it back to the car and hang out at the visitor center, which is just about 0.4 up the road.
Heading into the visitor center. We'll probably have to buy a sticker and a patch when we get here. So they're closed for another 12 minutes. So while we're waiting for the visitor center to open, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the outside, see what type of view that we have.
Up at the visitor center, got our sticker and we got our park patch. So now we are headed down to Gore Range Overlook, which is supposed to have several views of mountain ranges, and we'll just see what we get when we get there. Up with Gore Range Overlook, which says that it's an overlook that gives you stunning views of several mountain ranges. And next up is the lava cliffs, which consist of welded tuff, which is millions of years old and originates from volcanic activities of the Never Summer Mountains that we saw previously. Facing the Continental Divide, one peak after the other is lined up on the other side of Forest Canyon, which lies below. It also has the opportunity to look at the frigid zone firsthand. So I guess we've passed through the tundra region, and now we're headed to the frigid zone. It says, "Don't hurry, oxygen is in short supply up here at only 11,716 feet. Looks like they give you 5 minutes to walk 0.1 miles to the overlook."
So where are we at?
Rock Cut.
All right. Highest point in the park?
Highest point. So we are here at Rainbow Curve. It says Horseshoe Park is 2,000 feet below the overlook. And then also if we look to the left, you can spot the alluvian fan and see the Fall River meandering through the valley.
So that's probably the meandering fan there, don't you think?
The
like right
fan?
there. And then the river
comes through
like
it.
right here.
And then this is Horseshoe Valley, or Horseshoe Park. So it probably pays to actually look at the map signs that they give us. So the mountains we were looking at really had nothing to do with anything, and what we identified as Horseshoe Park was actually the alluvian fan and Fall River, and past the little, I wouldn't call it a lake, but past the little water spots that are like tiny mini lakes is actually Horseshoe Park. Map reading, it's essential.
So we were completely wrong.
So we are now find the Stanley Hotel and take it from there. So we are here at the Stanley Hotel. It is $10 to get into here to park. I'm sure they realize that it's a tourist place and people want to check it out. So we paid our $10. We're going to take some footage and then grab some food.
We're trying this hedge maze here to see if we can make it through. And Kelly's going her own way.
I didn't make it.
So we just finished eating at the restaurant here at the Stanley Hotel. I had a meatloaf. It was a combination of bison and elk, and then some mashed potatoes. So it was pretty good. Not too bad.
I had a deconstructed wedge salad with chicken. So pretty much, it's like I made my own food. They just gave me the ingredients. Nothing fancy, nothing to write home about. Just your typical salad. So.
Yeah, I think the highlight of the restaurant was when the server actually dropped the entire tray of food. Didn't hit anybody or anything like that, but food did go splashing everywhere. So that was a little bit of excitement we had.
Leave the Stanley now and head to Pueblo, Colorado, our destination for the end of our trip today. Alright, so we have finished up the day, checked in, just going to relax a little bit. Apparently Pueblo is famous for their chilies, so we might venture out to find a restaurant and see what that's all about. And then tomorrow, second park on our trip, Great Sand Dunes National Park.